Yesterday, Anthropic released Opus 4.8, and hidden in that release was a brand new feature available for Claude Cowork and chat available to all plans. I use Claude daily at my full time job and always want to be up to speed with the brand new features. With effort, you can choose the thinking level of models like Opus as well as Sonnet, which really impacts your token usage and model reasoning. Not only are we going to test the same exact prompt on the 5 different levels, but I'll be showing you a weird quirk that I hope Anthropic changes, as well as my usage limit as someone on the $99 plan. Opus 4.8 runs on high effort by default, which means you might be burning tokens and time on simple tasks that typically don't need it. Drop it to low and you could actually save both. So let's see if it's actually worth it. All right, so let me show you guys where you could find this at. And it's actually really easy. So if you go down over here to the bottom right of where you would set your specific task, you can see I have Opus 4.8. Obviously, it just came out. And then down below, you're going to have your effort. So you have 5 different levels. You have low, medium, high, extra, as well as max. We get the small description. High effort means more thorough responses, but takes longer and uses your limits faster. And what's great is you can actually change your model, and you can see that we still have different efforts over here. So for Sonnet, for example, we have low, medium, high, and max. Then we go into Haiku. Well, Haiku does not have that opportunity. Obviously, it's a very cheap model, so I did not expect that over there. But Opus is going to have the most, right? You go over here, we have all 5 of those. I want to also just quickly show you that in the Claude docs, it gives you a lot more information about it. I always recommend that people check out documentation and things like that, because that's the source of truth. And what we have is a table full of efforts. So max, absolute maximum capability with no constraints on token spending. And it says tasks requiring the deepest possible reasoning and most thorough analysis. So imagine you're trying to build some sort of infrastructure or do deep research on a topic. Maybe you want to use max, but caveat, I know a lot of people that use Claude Cowork at their full-time jobs do have a limit, whether it's like $100, $250, $500 a month. This is going to eat your tokens extremely fast. So be careful on that side of things. Then you have X high. It says extended capability, long running agentic coding tasks over 30 minutes with token budgets in the millions. Look at that. This is expensive. Then we have high, which is high capability, equivalent to not setting the parameter. So that is by default, which is why if you go back into Claude Cowork, you'll see that it says Opus 4.8 high. So, a lot of people would think like, hey, medium is default. Nope, it is high. Medium is a balanced approach with moderate token savings. Agenta tasks require a balance of speed, cost, and performance. And then low, most efficient over here. Simple tasks that use the biggest speed and lower costs, such as sub agents. And then we have our recommendations for Sonnet 4.6. So it says Sonnet actually defaults to high effort over here, explicitly set when Sonnet 4.6 to avoid latency. Medium effort over here, low effort, high effort, as well as max effort. And then we have recommendations as well for Claude Opus 4.7. But again, my personal opinion, you typically want to just upgrade the models over time and just to see what happens. All right. Next thing, what we're going to do is we're actually going to write a few different prompts with these levels just to see like how thorough they are and the differences between each of them. I feel like that's the best way to test it because again, it's like a relatively thing. Okay, we have our effort over here. So I'm actually kind of a nerd and I collect 1800s CDVs. If you don't know, these are like photos attached to papers of either like historical figures that you can see like this is a Michelangelo or people during the era. So like happened a lot during the Civil War. So these are like some Civil War generals and just random people have CDVs. So what I want to do is find some basic research. We're going to go through all these different levels and just ask, hey, can you explain CDVs to me and see kind of what the results are on all those. Every single task, we're going to just create a brand new session. So that way they're all different. And let's see what the end results are. I'm going to write out this prompt. We'll talk about it, and then I'll just duplicate it 5 times. All right. So this is the prompt that we're going to be saying for each of these different options. I'm interested in learning about CDVs from the 1800s, but don't know where to start. Can you tell me more about them, what to look for, subjects that people collect, and more? Give me all the info I need to be comfortable to start buying them. And as I mentioned, we're going to go through each of these. So I'm going to label each of the conversations max, extra, high, medium, and low. And you can be the judge behind this. Obviously, there's a lot of coding use cases for that as well, but I'm just going to keep it kind of broad as a research on a specific subject. All right, so let's start with our lowest over here and talks about the acronym, which is obviously a positive point. Says what they are: small photograph, 2.5 by 4, mounted card backing. Talks about the history in France, also how to date them, which is very tough. I actually built out a Claude skill for this. Talks a little bit more about that, which again, very basic. My skill is quite advanced. Subjects: Civil War, notable figures, occupation, photographs, and oddities, as well as tax stamps and what to look for, condition, identification, photographer, reproductions, and where to start. And I think, like, honestly, if I was someone that just got into collecting CDVs, that's not too bad. Now let's jump into our medium and see if there's a big difference between those. So now we're on medium. Again, we have this over here, what they are, how to date them, what people collect. And honestly, like, and it says what to look for, value drivers. To be honest with you, I feel like Lowe did a better job at this. Although it gave some examples over here like P.T. Barnum and things like that. I feel like Lowe just did a better job at like breaking this up, easier to read quickly. The paragraphs, are bullet points over here. Although it didn't mention specific individuals. Well, I actually did over here. You can see it mentioned Barnum as well and Tom Thumb as well. So I think Lowe outperformed medium on the side. Again, this is just one test case, but I am interested now if we go into our high, which is the standard by default. And you can already see that this is a much longer response. So it talks about its acronym: French for visiting cards, one of the most collectible, accessible categories, 19th century photographs. Talks about what they are. Again, the 2.5 by 4, which I think is helpful for people. How to date them. So this actually gave us more information about how to date these, which is nice. I also brought up clothing and hairstyles, which is kind of an underrated thing to do. What collectors look for. Again, added a little bit more as well over here in comparison to what we had in our Lowe. What to watch out for. So about the same exact thing over here. Although this brought up trimming, I don't believe our Lowe did. We can go back into Lowe, and I don't think it mentioned that. No, it didn't. So already high is looking like significantly better. Okay, and then we have this get it started practically. So now let's jump into extra. And extra seems like it's a bit short. High seems like it did a lot more work than extra, which is interesting to me. Again, let's take a look at the beginning. Small photograph. Okay. How to date them and identify them. So cardstock, corners, borders, backmark, and revenue stamp. So it wasn't as thorough as high, which talked about, hairstyles and things like that. What to watch out for. This one talks about fading and reproductions, what people collect, and getting started. Honestly, I like the default high one much better. This, again, wasn't bad if I was trying to learn the basics on it, but is it worth the extra tokens? Probably not, because I think our other one was a little bit better. Although I don't know if this costed as much just because the output was a bit smaller. Anyways, let's jump into quote unquote the cream of the crop. Let's jump into max. And this is what max says. So it is significantly longer, but does it really have all the details, or is it just a bunch of fluff? And, like all the others, it talks about the acronym, the French visiting card, talks about the history over here, actually talks about Napoleon III and CDVs and British royalty. I also talk about, larger cabinet cards that came after. I really like this over here. So we can see, don't confuse CDVs with these cousins, daguerreotypes, amber types, tin types, ferrotypes, which I never heard of ferrotypes, as CDV is paper printed on card. Again, I really, really like that over here. How to date. So it did not mention actually the hairstyles or like what people wear on the cards, but it gave us this additional information, what people collect. So, I think this is a bit expanded over here. Named photographers, we have the most famous one over here, which is Matthew Brady. We have some other ones as well. Gardner is very popular as well. So this is interesting over there. Rough price reality talks about $5 to $20, $20 to $50. Some of these can be really, really expensive, but if you want to start, $5 to $20 is a pretty good range. Where to look for condition. So it talks about conditions as well. Mentions trimming, which is great. Reproductions, and then how to start. eBay is the best place. Also talks about some auction houses, which obviously I wouldn't really recommend auction houses if you're a beginner. And then how to get comfortable with it, pick a focus, start cheap, buy the best condition you can get. I don't 100% agree on that one, but I think these are fine over here. And then talks about how to store them correctly. And then the standard reference over here, worth tracking down if you're hooked. And then want me to pull current sold prices for a specific subject. So like if I was gonna rank these, I think Max by far was the best, but really I was impressed also with High. High was super detailed. It brought all this out over here. I think High did a fantastic job, and Low shocked me. Again, this is just like one test, but medium and then our extra, like I was actually pretty disappointed with extra, especially because it's assumed that you would actually go through more of your spend. Now I'm on the $100 plan. I just wrote these 5 over here. I'm curious, how far did this actually take my usage limits? Okay, so you can see my usage on just these 5. I'm at 20% used. Again, I'm paying $100 a month on here. So be extremely careful about using these. 20% already just with just those 5 over there, which is absolutely insane. So, I mean, if I'm going to give a recommendation, I think High does a pretty good job for most people in most use cases. If you're going to be developing an app or want to build out some architecture and like you want that extra oomph that you really need, maybe you go and you use Max. Or if you're like, you have a bug in your code that you're trying to solve and you really want to solve it, go the Max route. But just across the board, honestly, I think High does a pretty good job. And if you are running out of tokens and you still want to leverage Opus, personally, I think Low did an awesome job over here. And obviously this just came out yesterday. I need to test this a lot more. I can't make an assumption off of one test like this, but I'm generally curious what you guys think. I wanted to quickly show you guys also one quirk with this, which is a bit unfortunate. So once you start a session and you have an effort level, currently you cannot change that. Now I do think it will change here in the future. Maybe you can do a slash command like effort and change it. Obviously that's not available over here. Or if you go down below, you can see Opus 4.8 is grayed out and it says the model can't be changed once the session has started. Start a new session to use a different model. Again, that is unfortunate because we're using the same model. We're just changing the effort and you can't choose that. And even if you click this plus over here, there's no options for that. And then you click this over here, no options as well. So you cannot change your effort level mid conversation right now. I do think that will change here in the future. But as of recording, which is early on 5/29, that is just not the case. So that is a wrap on effort levels. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you are testing this out and what you are seeing on your personal side of it. And listen, if you want to watch other Claude videos, we have tons here, whether it is from Cowork all the way to code or model breakdowns. We just did a full breakdown on Opus 4.8, 30-minute video talking about all the details that Anthropic gave out. So if you want to watch that video, it is on the screen right over here. I'll see you guys later.